Hello. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done an update video, so I thought I would just try to get one in today. I'm in a different area. My kids decided they wanted to share a room, so we opened up a room, and this is now their toy room slash my office. So I'm going to try to do filming in here. I do have my windows open right now, and it is storming, so you might hear some thunder, or you might hear the rain, but it gets really hot in here if I don't have the windows open. So there really isn't a whole lot to update. I'm 30 weeks pregnant today, and since my last video I've done my glucose test. I did fail the 1 hour. My glucose level was too high, and I failed the 1 hour with both of my own kids, so I kind of expected to fail the 1 hour with this one. So I did have to go back in for a 3-hour glucose test, which if anybody watching this has ever done it, sure you remember how awful they are. So for the 3-hour you get a drink that's, I think it's twice as sugary or 1.5 times as sugary as the 1 hour glucose drink. And then you get a fasting lab drawn, and you get a blood draw every hour for 3 hours. And then after that, you're done. And then to fail the 3-hour glucose test, I think it's 2 of your numbers have to be above a normal range. So my fasting glucose level was, I think it was 87, which was normal, which was good. They wanted me below 90 maybe. And then that one I knew right away, but the other 3 levels they sent off to a lab, so I didn't find out until after, I think it was the next day, what my levels came back as. Every single one of my levels came back below the target range, so I stayed good. And at 3 hours, by the time I left the clinic, my blood sugars were lower than when I got to the clinic. I was at 80. So having done the 3 hours before, I had taken some snacks with me just in case. I usually don't feel very well after the 3 hour, because by the time I leave, my blood sugars have kind of bottomed out. And I had about a 40-minute drive to the hospital, and then a 40-minute drive home from the hospital. And I want to say I was 20 minutes in, halfway in, I had to pull over and eat something because my levels dropped so much that I couldn't see, I couldn't focus, and I was starting to black out. And I had my 2 kids in the car with me, so thankfully they were asleep. I was able to pull over on the interstate, pulled out a couple of breakfast bars that I had brought with me, and then I ate those, and then I sat for a little while. And then once I started to feel more clear, I drove home, and then as soon as I got home I went and got food, tried to get something that had a lot of carbs in it, something, I had a soda that day, so something that had a lot of sugar in it as well, to try to get my levels back to normal. For over 24 hours, I want to say it was almost 2 days, I couldn't get my levels under control. I felt really awful. I was extremely sick. And I think it was just because my levels had crashed and I wasn't able to then get them up where I needed them, and I fluctuated so much. And then because I didn't feel well, I couldn't eat even though I tried. So that was kind of different with both of my kids. After the 3 hour, I did not feel good, but I didn't have the experience of 24 hours later, 48 hours later, I was still suffering from hypoglycemia. And then since then, I've had a lot more instances of hypoglycemia where my levels are too low, and I have to, it'll come on so quickly. I'll go from being fine and I feel good to literally within a handful of seconds, I'm shaking, I'm nauseous. If I don't eat something, I'm gonna pass out. And thankfully, most of them have happened at home, so I'm able to go into the kitchen, make a sandwich, get some bread, and do something about it. I have started carrying things with me if I go out to the store, because sometimes it happens at the store. And thankfully, as soon as I'm able to get like the carbs that I need or the sugars that I need, I start to feel better. And then I can, kind of usually takes about an hour, and then I can keep going. I don't have a glucometer, so I don't have a way to like monitor my blood sugars. I can only go based on how I'm feeling and my body's reaction to that. I have a grandfather that is hypoglycemic and always carries around a bag of candies and a bag of chocolates and stuff. I personally don't like candy. I don't like sweets. I don't eat them. But I have, we'll wait for that to pass. I have started carrying around like a bag of Jolly Ranchers because those are something I can suck on. It to me feels like I'm getting what I need, but I don't have to, eat it very quickly or get it down right away. And then I can suck on those throughout the day, and then it helps to sort of keep me where I need to be so that I'm not dropping too much. So, past the 3-hour glucose, no gestational diabetes. I've never had gestational diabetes, so I would have been a little bit surprised to hear that I had failed it. And then, other than that, I have an OB appointment in a week. I think it's a week from today, next Thursday. And then from then we'll go every 2 weeks for, I think, 3 appointments, and then weekly from then until delivery. We do have like an anticipated delivery window. They want me to go a little bit early at 39 weeks. I'm pushing to go a little closer to 40, but it just depends on their schedule. Right now we're looking at 2 days that would work best, and then it just depends on when they're able to get me in. Again, I do have to have a C-section, so we're scheduling that, which I think makes things a little bit easier, especially for baby's parents, because then they're not rushing around last minute, not waiting for that I'm in labor text or call, and they can prepare and they can be here, right then and be a part of baby's delivery. So we're waiting to hear finally what day that'll be, and then hopefully we'll know officially next Thursday. And then the week after that, another ultrasound. I'll be 32 weeks. I have to have an ultrasound to make sure baby is growing appropriately and not falling below a certain percentile. Baby was a little bit small in our last ultrasound, but still looked really good. This is just a follow-up for the circumvalla placenta. And as long as everything looks well with baby, then we'll be done with ultrasounds until delivery. And then I'll start doing non-stress tests from there to make sure everything stays good with fetal activity, with baby's heartbeat. I did have my second son at 39 weeks due to fetal tachycardia, which came about, we think, from an ABO incompatibility, which is a blood incompatibility. My son has his dad's blood type and not mine, and at some point in my pregnancy our blood crossed and started fighting one another. So at 39 weeks his heart rate was in the 250s, 240s, and then so I had to deliver him. And as long as baby keeps growing well, then we'll have baby just after 39 weeks in August. So I have 9 weeks left. It's hard to believe that we're that close already. It feels like just yesterday we did the transfer. I know baby's parents are getting ready for baby. They're doing a lot. I love hearing their updates about, their what they're doing with their home to get ready and how they're preparing for that. I've been nesting a lot. I love nesting. I like cleaning anyway. I'm one of those weird people, but my husband and I have rearranged the kids' rooms, rearranged this room. We brought all of the office stuff from our basement up to our second floor, and we have painted our bathroom. We did paint our kitchen, but that was about a year ago. So we're getting ready for nothing, I guess. Like, it feels like we're preparing for a baby in a way, like we're rearranging our home and getting our home ready, but we won't be bringing a baby home. So it's an interesting, my husband nests when I nest, which I think is really funny, and he did that with both of our boys too. He would, I don't know what it was, he was synced with me and we would do things together. We would both come home and have the urge to clean and get things ready, so that's just what we did, and I think he's getting it with this one as well. Even though we both know and obviously are okay with the fact that baby will not come home with us. So other than that, I mean, I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've been able to update, but nothing really has happened. I'm feeling really good. I do have some heartburn. I guess I've been having some, what I think is pregnancy insomnia. I mean, I don't sleep great regardless, even when I'm not pregnant, but I've been dealing with waking up having panic attacks and anxiety attacks, and I'll be in the middle of one when I wake up, and I have to get up and check on my kids and check on our cats, make sure our door is locked, and this will happen repeatedly through the night, and until I get up and check on everybody, I can't lay down and go back to sleep, and sometimes even then I can't sleep, and then I'm just up. But I am a person that doesn't need a whole lot of sleep. I can get a handful of hours and still wake up feeling just fine, so really insomnia is not a big deal for me. I had my first Charlie horse the other day. I woke up in the middle of the night with a cramp behind my knee. That was an experience. Usually I get them in my calf. So I went down to the kitchen, got some milk, sat up for a little bit, and then just kind of waited for it to pass, and when it finally did, I went to bed. My leg is actually still really sore from that. It was something I was expecting. I have heartburn, not nearly as bad as with my two, but I do have it. Let's see. I think that's it for symptoms, just that I'm sleeping a little bit less, waking up with anxiety more often, I have heartburn, and the Charlie horses have kicked in. But other than that, I feel great during the day. I have a lot of energy, which I didn't have before. They say third trimester, you usually have your first trimester symptoms. I was extremely tired and I had morning sickness all day long in the first trimester. So thankfully, knock on wood, I don't have those symptoms now. Other than I occasionally forget I'm pregnant until I walk in and see my big belly in the mirror or am reminded by somebody else. I don't feel pregnant, I feel good. Baby's super active, so obviously I feel movement, a lot of elbows and knees. Baby's movements are getting to be less erratic, I guess, and then I can kind of tell like what I'm feeling just based on previous ultrasounds and the way baby has laid the whole pregnancy. I can tell where things are and you know what movement is going on. So I probably won't do another update until after the baby's ultrasound in 2 weeks. I did have to reschedule my own cardiac echo, and that's in July now, so that'll be probably an update on its own. I have been having quite a few symptoms. I will sit and be relaxing, and I get multiple alarms on my watch that my heart rate is too high, and I'm having, I've had a few issues where I'll be relaxing and my heart rate will skyrocket and I can't get it under control and I feel really, really sick. So kind of looking forward to the echo. I still don't think it's going to really show anything. I still think that it'll just be normal pregnancy, supraventricular tachycardia, SVTs. We'll see how it goes, but I really think once baby is born, it'll get better. So we'll just have to wait and see. So I'll update again in 2 weeks after baby's echo, or not, after baby's ultrasound, and then I'll update again after that for my echo, and then our appointments are every 2 weeks from now on. So I'll try to update probably near appointment date. After baby is born, I don't know that I'll update very often. I do want to do like a postpartum update, how I'm feeling, how things are going. I might try to do some recording in the hospital. I'm going to have some free time, so I'm going to try to record like some immediate how I'm feeling, and I'll either make like just one big video or I will try to do a few small ones, but that's it for now. So I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.